What up though? It's your girl TeeDaWarrior and I'm back with another video. Y'all see what your girl is about to get up into today, okay? Today, your girl made some fresh, whole, grilled tilapia. Oh, did I mention that I had a nice big pot of collards on the stove cooking at the same time? Let's go and get up into that thing. But before we take this first bite, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this thing, okay? If you enjoying your time over here, you love watching me eat and cut the food, make sure you subscribe, all right? Now, without further ado, let's get into it! Whew. Okay, y'all. Now, your girl likes to cut her collards up big. So you'll see that these are some pretty good sized leaves. I did not cut them all the way up. I think I cut like every collard green leaf maybe in 4s. Some might have got cut up a little bit more than that. But whatever. I put smoked meat in here, put it like that. Of course, I put my seasonings. I put some onions and a couple other ingredients. You know what I'm saying? Because the girl can cook some collards. However, I do not eat collard greens without hot sauce. So we can redo that thing. Now, I don't want to pour it all up in there at once. Because I just wanted to get right on top. Ooh, yeah. Look at that. Will you look at that? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. This is nice and hot too, y'all. Just took them off the stove. Now, when my grandma used to cook collards for me when I was little, she didn't use any smoked meat. It was just the collard greens, probably some salt and pepper. She made homemade dumplings and set them on top of the pot. And she also had some white potatoes in here, skin cut off. These are like small size white potatoes, like palm size white potato, about that big. She'll cut that in half, take the skin off of it, and let it cook with them greens. When I tell y'all them daggone white potatoes and daggone dumplings just set the collard greens off, I don't know how to make the dumplings my grandma made. I don't know the recipe. That's one thing that I missed out on. Probably the only thing I missed out on, because I was so small when she used to cook that for me. I used to see her make these, pat it out, and lay them on top of the pot once the collards was done. And then once those dumplings were done, then the collards was ready. Oh, how I miss them days. The dumplings really do change the whole situation with the greens. I mean, it changed the whole smell of the pot when it's cooking. It's just so good, but I don't know. Maybe I'll get with one of her older children, aka my aunt or uncle, and see if they remember that recipe. And I did cut some of that smoked meat from the bone so I can eat some. I always eat a little bit with every bowl of greens because it's just good. Oh my gosh. I literally can't get this in my mouth fast enough. My mouth is like watering. Yeah. That smoked meat just permeates throughout the broth of these greens. Then the greens just soak up all of that smoke flavor. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And usually, I don't even eat the actual meat. I just put it in the pot for seasoning. But it's just so good and tender and still full of that smoked flavor. I was like, why not eat it? I don't know. To me, it's only in the pot as a seasoning, but I will eat it from time to time. Every collard I cooked was at least like palm size after I cut it up, because I like to eat mine in big pieces. As you can see, my greens stay intact when I cook them. Like they're not mushy, but they're also not hard, you know what I'm saying? But it's a whole collard. You can see right through the leaf. Okay, y'all. I'm gonna bite the fish. The collard's just so good. I can't help myself. I'm gonna bite this fish. Make sure I get it up close on it. Look at that tail. Whole fish, head on, the whole nine. The whole nine. Guys, I'm used to when somebody say, "Oh, I'm frying fish." In my head, this is what the fish look like, whole with the head and tail on it. You know, at least that was what it looked like when I was little and my grandma said she was frying fish. And a lot of people be like, I'm not gonna eat the head, y'all. I'm just eating a little bit of meat that's up here. But when I was little, my grandma, we only ate whole fish. There was no fillet and all of this. It had the tail and the head on it. Every now and then she would cut the head off, but never the tail. So, needless to say, I learned how to eat a whole fish when I was very, very young. I think I probably was like, 5. I was like 5 or 6. When my grandma would just give me a whole fried fish, just fresh out the lard. She would fry it in lard. It'd be nice and hot. She'd give me a piece of light bread, aka a slice of white bread. Put that fish on top. I drown it in hot sauce because I love hot sauce. And I can literally just pull the entire skeleton, the bone, just straight out. I would chew up the tail and eat it because it was nice and crunchy. So yeah, I learned when I was very young how to eat a whole fish. So when somebody say, "Oh, I'm frying some fish," that's the vision I have in my head, a whole fish. Not tilapia though. I literally can't find the fish that my grandma used to cook for me when I was little. Where I currently live. Now, if I move back home, then I won't have any problems getting all the food that my grandma used to cook for me. So, I'm settling today for this whole grill. I grill this fish on the barbecue pit grill. I'm settling for this whole grilled tilapia. But if I was on the east, where I'm from, I would go to the local fish market, get me some fresh spots. I'll probably have the fish market go and scale them and gut them for me. Tell them to leave the head and tail on. And I take them home, give me a little bit of flour, mix with a little bit of cornmeal, and give me about that much lard in the pan. And I would fry that fish up, honey, whole. That's how my grandma used to do it anyway. But I can't get any spots where I'm at. Spots are my favorite fish, probably because my grandma cooked them for me so much. She even would cook me fish and grits for breakfast. Oh yeah, fish and grits. And that fish and grits consists of a whole fish. Instead of frying it, she would steam the fish. Literally, she would put it in a pot on the stove, a pot. Put the whole fish in there, put a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, maybe a little piece of butter with cheese. And this ain't no ordinary cheese. We talking about that block of cheese that came in a cardboard rectangular box that had black writing on it saying U.S. government. She would cube that cheese up. She would slice it in little cubes. And she would put it in them piping hot grits. And some kind of way that cheese would melt. And she would put my whole fish right on top. And that was fish and grits. So, oh, yes. Now, my rendition is a little bit better. I mean, a little bit better. A little bit different. I wouldn't say better. Because I actually loved it when my grandma used to cook it like that. But mine's a little bit different. I don't use the whole fish usually when I cook fish and grits because my family doesn't eat whole fish like I do. They need fish filleted. So I would use fish fillets and I would just pan fry them. Not with flour and all of that stuff, but I would just season them really good and just coat the bottom of the pan with like some avocado oil or some kind of oil and just basically just cook them in the pan like that. No other, nothing else. And it comes out really good because I seasoned it up nicely. And I put a little butter in there too to make like a little bit of drizzle. And yeah, I make the grits the same. I eat cheese in mine. And some put sugar in theirs and some don't put anything in theirs. And then I just put the fish right on top. And that little bit of butter that's left in the bottom of the pan, it has all the seasonings and all the little burnt goods and stuff, you know. I would just drizzle that right on top of the fish, on top of the grits. Anyway, I'm going hard on this reminiscing about them fish and grits, ain't I? How this is let me get into that food. More grilled meat. I mean, not grilled meat, smoked meat. Oh, yes. I get a little more hot sauce on that thing. Anyway, yes, honey. Living in the South, growing up in the South, I am a grits girl raised in the South. The one thing we used to do was eat good. That's one thing we always did. And I do believe that's why I love to cook. Because it's all I knew as a little girl, staying with my grandma, is she would cook continuously. That's collards. Yeah, I do believe it's a smoked neck bone. It's not a ham hock. It's a neck bone, yeah. Gotta be. Whatever, it's good. So when I was little and learning how to eat fish, my grandma would give me that piece of light bread in case I got a bone, like a small bone in my throat or something. Not like this big bone, but she would give me a piece of bread in case I had a small bone or something stuck in my throat. And the piece of bread was to push the bone down. That's literally the reason why we always eat either light bread or cornbread fritters with our fried fish. And the whole purpose was in case you get a bone. Now, I've never gotten a bone. I don't think I've ever gotten a bone stuck in my throat at all. And I've never had to use the light bread. But when I was little, I still used to eat it because I like bread so much. And plus, she took it straight out of that hot fried grease and sat the fish on it. It's done collected up all the seasonings and the grease and crumbs from the fish. Honey, it was really good. Hot sauce. That's the fin that I'm trying to eat. This is another fin right there. That's like the side, the gills. That's the face. You see them little teeth on the side? You see the eyes? Yep. Whole fish, I love it. It's always gonna be a staple of mine, eating a whole fish. I just love it. I don't even care about the bones. To me, these bones are not like a task. They're not a task for me to take out of the fish. It's just so good. I didn't really think that me grilling this fish would be this good, but it really is delicious. I really wanted to fry it. But I just never fried a whole tilapia. I always either put it in the oven and broiled it or put it on the grill. However, I don't know. I just feel like the skin of the tilapia is a little bit tougher than the skin on the fish that I'm used to eating. So, do the bones. I think the skin on the tilapia it gets thick when, I mean not thick, but it gets kind of, it's kind of, I don't want to say tough, but it's tougher than the fish that I'm used to eating, which is spots. So that's why I didn't fry it. But when I grill it, well, no, not when I grill it. When I bake it or broil it, when I put it in the oven, the skin doesn't come out tough. So I'm thinking maybe it's just the grill. I don't know. Maybe it's the direct heat. I don't know. That's why I don't fry a whole tilapia, because of that. So I'll get a little bit more hot sauce. I just love it. But that's why I was choking, spitting at the camera a minute ago. You get to see one onion. Can you see that little piece of onion? Yes. No. When my grandma would cook a pot of collards growing up, a bowl of collards was a meal. Because you had the collard greens, white potatoes, dumplings, and of course hot sauce. So yes, collards was an entire meal when I was little. You eat a bowl of that, you full. You don't need nothing else. You don't need nothing else. But of course, knowing my grandma, she probably cooked some turkey wings, some rice and gravy to go along with the collard green meal. Y'all, I done sat up here and ate this bowl of collards. And now your girl's struggling to eat this whole fish. Let me tell you something. I know for a fact that I can eat a whole fish. In fact, when I was little, I probably eat like a fish and a half before I got full. But honey, these collard greens just did a whole nother number on me, child. And I'm back to them. They so good. I don't know which one tastes better, the collards or the fish, but I'm kind of rooting for the collards because I think I'm more interested in them than I am interested in eating the fish. Oh, yes. Look how pretty that smoked meat is. Come on, collard greens. Smell hot sauce on that thing. Look at the hot sauce drip off. Gotta be careful with the hot sauce and the collard green juice, because you go to slurp up the collards, and that hot sauce mixed with that juice is gonna hit the back of your throat quick. So be careful. Don't want you coughing up a lung because it went down the wrong side. Tilapia has a whole bunch of small bones in it, but it also has a bunch of big bones in it. I'm just peeling this beautiful meat away. There's a hot sauce. Okay. I think I ate about half the fish. But as you can see, when I eat a fish, I eat one side of it. And then I just take my hand and pull that whole bone. Just pull that bone right out like that. You see how I can separate the whole, I don't know if you can see it, the skeleton or whatever? Yeah. I eat one side of the fish and then I just peel that whole skeleton back. And then you can eat the other side of the fish just like you eat a fillet. So, yeah. And I always eat all the meat. Hold on, let me show you. Along the spine of the fish, or the top, that little pointed side, it has these bones like this. But if you look closely, it's some meat in them bones. I will literally pull every single spine, every single bone of the spine apart and eat the meat that's in there. I literally just ate all the meat from between now. But you know how some people eat fish and it's a big chewed up pile of mess where they done chewed some up and got a bone and spit it out and it's this and that. I'm a pro. When I finish, ain't nothing gonna be there but the head and the skeleton. The tail may or may not be in the pile depending on how good the fish was. I might just eat the tail too. Like this one right here. That's a bomb tail. It's so good. You saw it. I just chewed up the whole tail. It's bomb. Oh my God, it's so packed with flavor. I wish the whole fish was crunchy like this. Probably if I fried it, it would have been. But this tail is so crunchy. I just crunch it and it's just packed with flavor, y'all. Packed. Oh my God, so good. I mean, matter of fact, let me just finish eating the rest of the tail. I pulled it out for y'all to see. It's just the tail. What's left? I already bit a piece of it off. There is a couple of little bones in the tail, so be careful. However, depends on how big the bone is, I will chew it up and eat it too. But anyway, let's get this whole tail down so you can see that. That's it. I can't chew no more of it. Oh my God, it was so good. Y'all, this fish and collards has been a real treat, okay? So do yourself a favor. Cook a nice big pot of collards. Fry you up some fish. Cook you some cornbread fritters. Or either have you a piece of light bread on the side and enjoy you a meal. All right? So, until the next time, y'all, I will see you later. And just remember that to the world, you may be one person. But to one person, you may be the world. Keep that in mind. And remember, value of self. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.